Recording has begun.
Hello, Lisa. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Christina?
Good, good, good. Survived the wicked storm.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy. I didn't really notice anything actually. The only thing was that I got up this morning and my power went off immediately. But
That
it was
sucks.
on all night while I was sleeping and no problems last night. So I didn't hear any wind. I didn't see anything blowing around. There was nothing outside that looked out of place. So I was like,
Good, good. Yeah, the bomb cyclone came through. Crazy,
yes,
crazy.
yes.
Yeah,
How
we
was it for
survived
you
it.
guys?
It was a little blustery for sure, but I think the
You're up
island
pretty
got the
high.
most of it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, apparently the island got most of it, or further south, like Seattle, the Seattle area
Yeah.
actually got bombarded. So,
Didn't
mm.
didn't I
Did
wouldn't
that
have
you at
known.
all? Oh, well,
No,
there we go.
except for the power going out, and then I just went back to bed and woke up my husband and snuggled and fell asleep for a couple more hours, which
There
was
you go.
really nice. Because I was like, well, if I don't have my cup of coffee sitting
Yeah,
on the couch with my Wordle and everything, then what's the point of being up so early? So
exactly.
yeah.
Agreed.
Then
Agreed.
I got up and just off, got off, left. I was gonna say effed off, and then I was like, don't say that, that's rude. And then I said got off instead. Anyway, just
There you go.
shoved myself out the door, put some clothes on and got myself out the door. So
And then got a coffee on the way to work.
no, because I have Keurig pods at work and I have
Oh,
my raw honey and I just picked up a thing of half and half. So I had everything I needed to make myself a coffee and settle in this morning.
there
So
you go.
very
Nice.
fast, quick, crazy work day, but
Yeah.
we got it done. Here
Here
we
you
are.
are. Here
How
you
was
are.
your day today?
Nice. That was all right. Yeah, I did some baking for a friend who needed a little support today. So yeah,
What are you
definitely.
baking?
What did I make? I made some dinner rolls. I made some cinnamon buns. I also made some caramel apple oatmeal cookies.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and then I had some macarons, some cupcakes, and I didn't do all of those today, but over the last couple of days, I've been doing some baking for them. So
So that's what the brown butter was for the
exactly.
cookies?
It was for the cookies, correct. Yes.
I mean, the ASMR video that you posted today, I was just like, oh, okay. Now I really want something with brown butter in it because, oh, it's so delicious.
There's
Um,
not a lot that beats that beautiful, nutty, you know, flavor
the
in baked
aroma
goods.
throughout the
Oh,
house,
yeah,
so, so, so good.
it's so good. Yeah.
So good. Well, here we are, and we are about to meet with the most recently eliminated baker, the last one to officially be eliminated this season. And
So
it's
sad.
I know it was a hard one. It was, I mean, yes, we say they're all hard, but man,
It
I
gets
just,
harder every week.
yeah. And I just was really like hoping against hope and just seeing how they got so much more confident as time went on and just to see the quality of the bakes and everything, I was like, you know what? I think that Erica could actually make it all the way to the end.
I know. I honestly thought that too. Her confidence level, like you said, shot through the roof over the last few weeks. Her
Yeah.
bakes were incredibly creative, well executed. I was holding out. She easily could have been Star Baker the last 2 weeks. I was so hopeful that she was going to make it all the way into that finale,
I know.
and just came up a teensy, teensy
Bit short.
little bit short.
But
Yeah.
what an achievement to get to this point, right?
We say this all the time, right? I mean, it's an incredible achievement just to make it into that tent to begin with. And
Yeah.
then week over week, it's like, oh, you're almost like beating the odds. Everybody is so talented this year.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it when we first started doing our recaps, like
Hmm.
any given day, any one of those
Yeah.
bakers could be Star Baker, and
Yeah.
the following week they could be sent home, right?
Yeah.
And
And how Vincent was saying during our scrap recap that he's just really invested in every single one of these people. And I think we all feel the same way. So,
absolutely. The season has
yeah.
been filled with incredible personalities, incredible skill. It's been such a joy watching this season. I've had so much fun. And I don't know if it's because we're doing the
This,
podcasts, we're
yeah.
doing the recaps and that kind of stuff that I'm even that much more invested. I feel like I've always been very invested in
Yeah, me too.
bakers and everything season over season. But this season specifically, I think there was just such a wonderful group of people.
Hmm.
The ensemble for season 8 was just so beautiful and wonderful and full of energy and love. And yeah, it was just a
Yeah,
real joy and treat to watch
yeah. I
as a
agree.
viewer.
I agree. It's going to be sad to have it end. I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves.
What are we going to do with ourselves?
We'll still talk every day, right?
Of course we will. I
Good.
don't think that'll change. And then
No.
we've got our regular scheduling of all these other incredible bakers that we get to chat
Mhm.
with on a regular basis. So
Yeah,
we'll
but
definitely,
not for long because we're taking a break.
we are going to be taking a break.
A break for December and a bit of January. So,
Yeah,
well, about a month.
we're giving our viewers a break from us
Is that what they
as
want?
much as we're taking one.
Oh,
But
I think we should do a poll on that one and see who's actually looking forward to us being on hiatus.
I don't know. That would be kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I came across a poll like that, if I would be,
You
how
better
would
vote.
you answer that? You would
I
vote
don't
yes
know, but I want to do
or
it now. I want to see how that works out.
no?
But we got some fun stuff coming up, so I'm excited about that. And then yeah, it will be good for us to take a little bit of a break and just kind of refocus ourselves and see what else we need to work on. But for now, we get to talk to Erica.
I'm so excited about that.
I know, me too. So would everyone please welcome Erica?
Thank you,
Welcome,
Carol.
Hi.
Erica.
Hi, how are you guys?
So excited to see you. So
Bitter,
I'm
sad
so
to see you,
glad.
but so excited to
yeah,
see you.
So
bittersweet. We
nice
were
to meet you guys.
so sad to see you go on Sunday, but we
Oh,
were
thank you.
super excited that we get the opportunity to chat with you today.
Oh, me too.
Yay!
Hey.
That's great. I think it's going to be so much fun. I mean, I told you right away, right from the beginning. I sent you a message right after the first bio. I was like, kind of basically like, okay, so I'm just really in love with you. I just think you're great.
Love at first sight. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, you've got a stalker now. But
We do that if you've listened to our podcasts. We've been known to be a bit stocky sometimes.
it's
I mean,
just
if you love something, you go hard. It's not your fault.
that's right.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you understand. This is so
Totally.
nice to feel seen, you know?
Right? I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so important. And
Yay.
then you didn't let us down. I mean, you
Oh,
were entertaining throughout the whole entire season, and we have been just so enjoying watching you the whole entire time. So thank
That's
you
so
for
nice. Thank you.
everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how has it been for you? What has this whole journey been like? Like, let's
It's
starting, let's just talk about what it's been, sorry. What it's been like since it started airing. Like,
oh, sure.
how has that been for you? Weird, I guess.
It's been really weird. At the beginning, I was just like so hyper focused on like watching myself and like being like, oh, that's what you look like TV. To me, it was like when you show like a toddler a picture of themselves and they just kind of stare at it like all the time. And they're just kind of like, what is this? I know this is like familiar, but who is this? It was like that. And now I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't need to look at myself anymore. I get the idea.
well, you were so stinking adorable,
What?
through the whole entire, like even, like Lisa mentioned, as soon as the bios came out, it was like, ooh, who is this Erica person? She is going to be so much fun to
Who's this
watch.
little weirdo?
It's so cool. And then just to see your growth and your confidence just soar in that tent week over week, it was
Mhm.
mm, just so much fun to watch. And we were
Yeah.
so happy for you that you had that incredible journey. And that, was that what happened? Like, did you feel like, you just, I think it was just one of those weeks. I think what was it? Arts and Crafts Week, I believe it was,
Mm.
that you kind of just like it was like the butterfly coming out of its cocoon, right?
Totally. Yeah. So when I got into the tent, I was just like, I'm the worst one here. Because like
Oh,
you meet everybody and you get to know everybody and you're watching everybody and you're like, somebody has to leave immediately. I can't picture this group without any of these people, so it
Mhm.
must be me who goes. And then I made it to the next week and was like, excellent, love that. However, I still feel terrible. And then I kind of like proceeded until week 4. And then after week 4, I was just like, I don't know what anything feels like. I feel bad all the time. And then I had an emergency therapy session, which was very helpful and like took me out of my own head and helped me kind of refocus and be like, okay, it doesn't, should stop trying to prove myself every time I bake. And I should just like enjoy what I'm doing and remember what I love and remember, like, picture myself in my kitchen and just like go from there. And it really correlated with how much better I did, which I may say is causational. And then it just kind of went up from there.
well, whatever it was, it definitely worked. I mean, I thought your bakes were stellar up until that point anyway. And then it was just this next level of Erica that we saw in that tent. And it was just, like I said, it was just so beautiful that you felt that like surge of confidence and then just let it go, right? And just like you said, enjoy the moment and do
Mm,
what you were passionate about, which is baking.
totally.
So
Thank you. Yes.
For baking in
Just,
a tent.
yes.
right. I just kept when once Rita left, I was just like, I have to tell myself to have fun now.
Yeah.
I have to convincingly say it.
Yeah. 'Cause she was the cheerleader, right?
It really
Of the group.
was.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had a special connection before you even got to the tent,
Yeah, that was
which
like
is
the
pretty cool.
best. It's like when you go to summer camp and then you end up seeing like your neighbor and you're like, this is about to be 10 times better because I don't have to like get to know some one less person, which is
Yeah.
so much easier.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
fair.
lot getting to know people, like making new friends. And the older you get, the more you're just like,
Right?
oh, I don't want to have to do that.
Like,
Like,
what do we talk about?
exactly. It was actually really great with Christina because we just kind of fell into each other's lives. And then it was
Hmm.
like an instant,
I
like, oh,
stalked her.
what's
I
that? You
call it
did
good
not
relationship.
stalk me.
Oh, like most of my good relationships these days. No, I'm just
Is
kidding.
that how it goes? Yeah, yeah. I'm one of these days you're going to tell me how you and Erwin met because
I
now
stalked
I'm
him too.
wondering.
No,
So, Erica, why don't you tell us how just a little bit about yourself and your life growing up and who you
yeah.
are, who you were before we got to know you on the tent in the tent.
Sure. So I grew up in Lloydminster and in Sherwood Park, actually. I heard you're from Sherwood Park, and I was like, oh, me
Yes,
too.
no way. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
crazy. So many people don't even
totally.
know where Sherwood Park is.
I know. I wasn't going to say it. I was going to say Edmonton, and then I know that you were from there, and I was like, well, now I have to say it.
Yes, you do. Oh my gosh. How long were you in Sherwood Park?
I think, from I think 12 years, from 10 to when I graduated university.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Where did you live? This is weird.
Out by Ardrossan.
Okay. I lived on Strathcona Drive and I went to
Oh,
Westboro
very
Elementary
nice.
School.
ABJ.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I wasn't there until like I left when I was 12, but it
Oh,
feels like
wow, yeah,
where I grew up. Like for me, Sherwood Park
nice.
is always going to be like
That
my
12-year-old range is
hometown.
just like that age, that's the place.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. But every time I've gone back, I'm like, why is it so big? How does this happen? Because it was this
Why is
tiny
there so
little
much new
hamlet.
stuff? I hate it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you grew up there. You have your
Yep.
family is
Yep, all my family is still there.
okay.
And then I finished university and I moved to Lethbridge for a few years and I worked at a not-for-profit down there. And then I moved to Calgary and I've just been there ever since. I think coming up on 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what
And then I work all over the province, really. I like to think that I've been in like all four corners. I have like a very good breadth of the province. And even BC, I work a lot in BC as well. And I've been a consultant for about 7 years as well. That's why I moved here. Um, and so I do wetland, I just do any like environment stuff, but it's mostly plant-based. And
yeah.
I love that stuff so much. I could stare at plants all day. It's a
We
real gift.
saw that come through in your bakes.
Yeah, thank God. It's the worst because I like really tiny details, and then you're in a tent and have 4 hours, and you're like, the first thing that has to go is the tiny little details.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And nobody else would notice that they're not there, but you will
Totally.
notice
Nobody else would get irritated but me.
it. Totally get that. So how did you get started with baking then? Because it seems like you're really focused on like your work and your passion.
Mm,
Is baking a passion?
yeah, I suppose it is. I should hope so at this point. Jeez, imagine if it wasn't. That'd be so sad. Yeah, I just started baking with my mom, and then she always had like so many little hobbies, and she's always been such a good baker. And so we started with cookies, and then we like did more. We would bake with my grandma, and then I just kind of went out on my own and started having bigger dreams of what I could bake. And I started watching the Great British Bake Off, and
Mhm.
that one just like I loved it so much. And then that one inspired me to keep baking, and then I just kind of like did my own thing for a lot of years. And then a friend of mine sent me the audition link in like 2021, I think it was. And then I've auditioned every year since.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's where you met Rita.
Yeah,
And that's where I met Rita. The best.
No
That's the
kidding.
best.
that's so cool.
Yeah, we're a little jealous that you guys got to be in the tent together because it's never going to happen for us. It's just
Never.
Ah, never. That's so sad. It's like star-crossed lovers. It's such so sad.
we just have to bake in her kitchen instead, or in
Yeah.
Laura's kitchen, or
We bake
Andre's
together.
kitchen.
Yeah,
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 we can
Just
handle
touch fingertips through the
just,
camera.
just not in the tent together,
Yeah.
No,
but
that's all right.
we
Maybe
could
one of these
pitch a
days.
tent and kind of pretend to bake in a tent one day.
It's really hard. I don't recommend it.
Just do it on the hottest day of the year, and yeah,
Oh
make
my
sure there's
God.
no air
Yeah,
conditioning and that
And
the
you
oven
want
will
10
turn
more
off.
ovens. And
Yes,
you want to be sweating because you're also nervous. And then work with
right.
buttercream. What could go wrong?
yeah. And then raccoons, you guys had a raccoon
Oh
family join you
yeah.
guys at one point.
I don't
So
remember that.
sweet.
That's
I don't
crazy.
think you
Yeah.
showed it. Bruno shared that. And yeah,
What?
It
anyway.
was so funny. It was after cartoon week or the cartoon cake. And you could see they had like all my green icing, a lot of it ended up on the floor that they hadn't like cleaned up yet. And the next day there was just like green raccoon prints through the tent. And we were like, this is the best day. Where is he? He's so handsome. I know it in my heart.
So did you find him?
No,
Oh,
Oh man.
nasty little handsome guy.
you just saw his little paw prints off.
Just like knowing he's there and like he's watching from above, you know?
Yeah,
Cool.
just name him God. This is our raccoon. He's always watching. Or Big Brother.
Big
Yeah,
brother.
he's
Yeah.
got my back, whether I know it or not.
Yes, exactly.
So you had applied a few years then, did a couple of the auditions, and then this season you got the call. How
Oh,
was
which is
that?
it was wild because I was actually 20 minutes late to my bake along. I forgot what time it started at, and I was just like hanging out on the couch, and I opened my phone, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, Christ. Oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry. Give me like 3 minutes." And she's like, "Okay, great. Thank you so much." And so then I just had to like go and set up all my cameras because you have to do that. And like I had already put all my stuff out because I was anticipating to call that day, just within like another hour from then.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "Okay, hi." And they were like, "There you are." And then I think it made me so much more relaxed
Yeah.
than real life.
That you weren't sitting around just kind of waiting for it to
Waiting.
happen
And
and being all
stewing,
set up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was. I was just my husband set
Oh,
up
every year.
all these lights and everything, and there's like a big like curtain backdrop and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, so yeah, it would have been nice
Breathing down
to.
the minutes.
That's why you got in and I didn't get it because I was not relaxed. No, there are plenty of reasons why you got in, and I'm so glad that you
Oh,
did. So
me too. It was
yeah.
crazy. So then, yeah, then had the call and they were like, "Okay, you're in." And I was just like, it was just ice through my whole body. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How's your day? That's so nice. Have a great weekend. Thank you for calling me. Love you. Bye." It was They were just like, so excited. And I was like, yes, yes, I am.
A quiet
Yeah, just immediate like trauma response.
You were screaming on the inside. Rita screamed on the outside.
Truly. It's nice to have an external and an internal at all times. And that's what we do best at Calgary. We do the best of both worlds.
Yeah, no kidding. Um, I forget what I was gonna say. It's gone. Pew, chew. Ah, okay, that's all right. You have something to ask, Christina, and I'll come
Oh,
back to what I
I
was.
thought you were gonna, you look like
I was gonna ask something, and then I was just listening to you talk, and I was like, I don't
all
remember what
right.
I was gonna
So,
say.
so you get on the
She's
plane.
ready. She's got something.
So you get on the plane and you see your buddy, Rita,
Oh, in the airport.
Yeah.
at the
It was
airport.
so funny because I had a suspicion that she was on because when they came to film my bio, they were like, "Oh, in the afternoon, in the morning, we have to be somewhere else." And I was like, "Oh, is it Rita?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "That's a lie. It's for sure Rita. Nice try." And then I
Nice.
was like walking to my gate, and I was like, "I bet you I'm going to see Rita there." And then I turn my head, and there she is. And I go, "Well, I know where I'm sitting." And then I
Oh,
see her, and I go, "Oh, hello, Rita." And she just goes, "I knew it." And I was like,
oh,
"Oh,
It was meant to be
meant
having
to
the two of
be."
you in that tent at the same time.
what a
It was really
difference that
nice.
makes for you too, because you're walking into this completely foreign environment. I mean, there's people that you've met through the casting process and over the
Mhm.
years, etc. But to go in there, and I mean, I don't know how much experience you have being on screen. I don't know if like all the cameras
None.
kind of okay, so it kind of wigs you out a little bit. But then you have your buddy there, and like you said, you don't
Mhm.
have to get to know her. You guys are already familiar and comfortable with each other, and so you can kind of cling to that a little bit.
Totally. It's a really nice safety net
Mm.
Yeah,
to be
Rita's
like, I don't need you guys to like me. Reed likes me pretty much at least half. So that's the thing. That's nice.
Well, I think you come across as a pretty likable person, so I
Thank
don't think we
God.
had any other issues in the cottage or with the other group of
I
bakers.
think that's a casting thing. They did a wonderful job.
hmm
Everyone is so lovely. Everyone is a 10. That's the part. It's like I usually don't get along with everybody, but I got along with everybody.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
We've
nice.
talked
And it's
about
I
that.
yeah. And it takes me bit longer than some people to like really like let someone in. So it was just it was the perfect group. It was the perfect group for me. Big fan, big fan.
Oh,
We are
wonderful.
also big fans of this group. We've talked about that
Yes.
a lot, how it's just like,
Yeah.
and Vincent was saying on our recap yesterday, he's like, I'm so invested in all of these bakers,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
said he hasn't felt that since season 5, which was his season. And I think we kind of are feeling the same way because we do have a special place in our hearts for season 5, but now it's like,
Hmm.
okay, now we have a real special place in our hearts for season 8 because just all of you guys, and you're right about the casting
Yes.
team.
Mm.
Like, I don't know how they do it, but they knock it out of the park.
Yeah. And I wonder, like, I sometimes I wonder what they're like, why they choose who they choose. And I feel like this year they definitely chose like more personality hires that were like
Mhm.
also very talented. Not to say they were not talented.
Oh,
That is
no.
not what I mean.
That's
They're very
also
talented
given.
and they have big personalities. And it
Yeah.
was just like so nice to see how well that was portrayed on TV because I got to watch every week and be like, that's my friend Pam. And she is actually like that. And that's Marcus. And he does have that silly little laugh. He does. And it's the best. I love it so much.
Oh, and you guys did have so many amazing, great personalities. Like Ray Jean was a
Oh,
hoot. Rita, yourself,
mm-hmm.
Pamela, that little
Patty.
giggle. Yeah,
Oh,
Patty. Oh my
Guillaume.
goodness, Patty.
Oh,
Yeah.
Patty was,
I
whoa.
Laura.
mean, yeah,
Oh,
all of you guys, just so many
so
like
good.
little endearing qualities for each of you, right? And not everybody's like Alora and Marcus tended to be like a little bit
They're
quieter.
the slow burn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so is there more coming out of Alora next week?
I think like she takes longer to like let herself be herself in front of other people. So it starts quiet and then it like she starts winking at you and then she starts sticking her tongue out at you and winking at you and you go,
Oh,
oh, I think I'm in.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I've
awesome.
noticed little bits more like this past week.
Yeah.
She had a couple of little jokes that she snuck
Yeah.
in there and
Right.
everything. And
And she was
yeah.
so confident this week. It was like,
Oh,
oh, a blessing. She was as focused as like Anne said she was. She was like zeroed in and was just like crushing it at every turn. It was awesome.
She did a
And
great
you
job.
had such a great banter with Anne back and forth, and you guys
Oh,
like
thank you.
were, I just thought that every interaction you guys had together was just so
Oh,
beautiful to
thank you.
watch and fun and yeah. And then all of your little like, sound effects. We're gonna miss that
Oh,
next week.
Hmm.
oh, thank you for saying it. I didn't know I made that many, if I'm being honest. I didn't know that they happened all the time. Uh, and
You
now
think that
I
was
hate,
like
I
in
feel
the
like
tent nervousness or
Uh-uh.
noise in real life when I do mess something up or it doesn't like go in the way I thought it did. But oh, or like if you're walking and you do a little slip, like that is the noise that comes out. But I didn't know it was that many times, especially when you're like watching somebody else and then I can hear myself in the back go, "Ugh," and then go, oh man.
But you know it's adorable, right? Like people
Thank
think people
goodness.
are loving it.
it
I get
was so fun.
You.
it. What
The
was your
tent
favorite thing to bake in the tent?
Um, ooh. Okay, this is like, no, it's not controversial or anything. It's like an eye roll, obvious. But the technical with the swan, the origami cake,
Oh my gosh.
entremet. That one was wild. It was a wild experience because there's like so many pages. And especially
yes.
at the beginning, especially when Patty was there, she would read so fast and then you would hear her mixer going and you were just like, Patty, I am like 2 paragraphs in and you're psyching me out that I should have started already. Can you please just wait like 2 minutes for me to finish reading and then I
Oh,
can start? I would just like read like part of the first page and be like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, and then just start. It was not the Heather last year. Heather was like, oh, my reading comprehension skills are so good.
yeah.
I remember hearing that and being like, mine are so bad. I'm so bad at that. This is going to be terrible. And then I was just like, well, I'll just like keep going and then like I would be done one part and I'd be like, okay, I think I'm done. And they'd be like, no, twheels and these and pedals and splatter. And I'd be like, I didn't read that.
No,
But
Thank
you
goodness I saw somebody else doing it.
you did amazing for
It
that
was
technical.
awesome.
you won
And I
that
remember
technical.
I
Yes.
did. It was the
Yes, you
best thing of
did.
my whole life.
That was a really annoying technical to do. It took
I
me
believe
12
it.
hours. How long does the dry ice, how much does the dry ice take off
It's the
that time?
best. I wish real life had dry ice because it's
Yeah.
top notch. It was just like immediately hard, like frozen solid all the way through in
Wow.
20
Amazing.
minutes less. It was awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
That would be nice. Like
You
just
did
even
so
to do a
well.
regular cake.
Thank you. I know, right?
Yeah.
And it was funny because they when they were describing the cake at the beginning, the hosts, they I think they made a swan joke or something, and I was like, am I gonna have to make a buttercream origami swan because I don't know how to do that? And then I did have to do that, and I was like, oh heck yeah! And then I had the twheels, and I was like, I'm gonna make these swans.
It was
I think that'll be really
awesome.
funny.
It, it
Nice.
it was. I love that that was a little private joke for yourself
Yeah.
because that was amazing.
And then once I don't remember, I was reading something about like, and then it was like add blue, and I was like, I know, I immediately knew what I wanted it to look like. That I just wanted the blue on the top, and then I wanted the cherry blossom petals to be cascading down the side, much like that scene that's in every anime where it's like a blue sky and the cherry blossoms
And
petals are like
flying
flying through
by.
the air. And
Yes.
I'm like, that's exactly what I want.
And that's exactly what you pulled together.
And that's the best. I love technicals. Heck yeah.
Ah, there you go. Well, you actually had some really good success with the technicals.
I really
So
did. It was awesome.
Yeah, you did.
What a blessing.
So, what do you think it is about the technicals? Like, it's because you don't have to take all this time to prepare for it and create it and everything. You
Yeah.
just
I
read
think
or
it's
sort of read.
I like not knowing what I'm doing because I can't get like the dopamine of already having done it. Like I do not like making a bake more than once. I find it takes all the fun out of it, and I'm like uninterested by the time I have to do it again, which
gotcha. Yeah.
was not great for literally every bake in this tent.
Not good for practice, but I get it. Yeah.
And then I liked that there was a set end time, so I knew I wouldn't be baking all night to try and finish it, and everything was already set up for me. And and it was like something weird and I didn't know. And I was like, I like all four of those things. And nobody knows what they're doing. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
That's
nice.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, level playing field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
What did you think of this last week's technical?
Oh man, I thought it was like such a left turn. I loved it. It was like unexpected. I had no idea what it was supposed to look like until I watched the episode. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to look like that.
It was very weird.
It's bizarre. We
Totally.
were all like,
I felt like the girl from Impa Nimpa making that caramel, though. It was awesome.
Oh, all the
oh, no,
fruits.
right?
You're
You
just
just
like,
threw
Yeah.
it all in. No
Right? I was like, that's
peeling,
the
no.
fruit hat. And you just put it in a pot.
oh man. And that
That is
caramel.
awesome.
How long did that fruit caramel take to come to temperature? Or did they even tell you what temperature to take it to? Because yours was
They
cooling
must
a
have.
little bit. And
Well,
and
the
I
thing
wondered,
is you know how you're supposed to leave it uncovered while you're boiling down the fruit?
yeah.
Mhm.
I had actually left mine covered because I thought you wanted all of it to like stay in. And then that meant that it didn't reduce at all. I didn't lose any water. So I actually had 8 cups of liquid at the end instead of 4. So then
Oh,
I
Oh,
just like
wow.
poured what I needed out. So it was like way more water concentrated. So I think that meant my like sugar syrup was less sugary.
mhm.
And that then I had the best caramel.
I was
So
gonna
I don't,
say, yeah, they said that you actually had the best caramel of the
yeah.
technical.
And I was like, sick.
Yeah, you just take,
You're
I'll
like,
take it. It's all good.
Yeah, I
Yep.
won't tell you
of
why
course
you
I
think
did.
that, but I really appreciate it.
I got sad about your sprinkle party though, because you were like having your little sprinkle party, and then they're like, "There's not enough sprinkles," and I was like, "Let
I was
her
I
have
was
a
like,
sprinkle
I was
party."
like, listen, there's more than 3 sprinkles on there. That's multiple sprinkles. Check.
It's like an odd thing to have sprinkles on as well. Do you know what I mean?
Also, I just didn't want it to be too gaudy. I really liked that I had like little squiggles. It reminded me of those like 90s paper cups. And I was like, yes,
Mhm.
that is how I like it. And I was like, well, if you wanted more sprinkles, you could have said be flamboyant with the sprinkles, but you didn't.
Yeah,
You said add sprinkles. And that's how many sprinkles I wanted to add.
So
there
did
you
you
go.
you held back some of your sprinkles that you had?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, I just like did a little Salt Bay sprinkle and went, oh, that's pretty good. There's sprinkles.
yeah. I
Well,
mean,
you
they
probably
did
did.
not match at all.
No, it didn't. Yeah, and it just was a little strange. It was a little weird. Like
Totally. I
sprinkles.
really enjoyed that about the technicals though, because I think they'd kind of like built us up and then just like something that nobody had any experience with, I think like was trying to like put us on our toes again and keep us from getting too cocky and success.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Because yeah,
And
it
I
was.
love the technicals because then you bake stuff I would never bake on my own or even know about. And
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, open my horizon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, give me
for
I would
sure.
love to make a log pyramid out of licorice and pineapple flavored goop. Yes,
you
please.
did, and you did.
Pineapple flavored goop.
And strawberries and lime and
That's
banana.
pretty
I can't
tasty.
imagine how expensive that caramel must be to make. It's crazy.
Right?
I
Uh,
love that it's half of a pineapple. And when I cut it, I was like, hey Jen, do you want the other half of my pineapple to reduce waste? And she was like, heck yes, I do.
yeah, so you didn't have to. Oh, smart.
Yeah,
Very, very smart.
good plan.
I
But yeah,
appreciate that.
you're right though. It would be a very expensive caramel to put together, and you're basically just boiling all these fruits together, and you don't actually even
Totally.
eat any of the fruit because you're just taking the juices
You just squash it.
from the caramel. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wild.
just took whatever I had left. I was just
Hmm.
kind of like, all right, well, that apple looks like it's good to go. And those bananas are not going to be banana bread because I'm putting
Hmm.
bananas in and like,
Nice.
leftover things I had
Hmm.
zested for the
Oh,
other
totally.
bakes and stuff. I'm just like, it's all going in there.
Like, listen, it's a fruit. I think that works. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
not a tomato. How bad could it be?
I guess you could even put a tomato in.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to.
Could be interesting to see what a difference it makes.
I'm sure there's worse things.
Yeah,
Probably.
for sure. Don't put a potato in. That would be bad. Very
It
starchy.
is starchy.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mind you, you get the starch from the banana.
that's true too.
So I don't know.
Oh well.
Sometimes.
Oh
Or the
well.
apple would have a bit of starch too if you had apple.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
And
I
then I
put
was
apples
wondering
in.
if they wanted all the skin on to get some of the like, what's it called? It's on like,
Pectin?
thank you. Yes, pectin. But I
Yay.
don't
ding,
know.
ding, 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 ding.
I wondered about that too. Like raspberry has a
Mm,
lot of natural pectin in it, so raspberries
mm,
are really good. Like you usually don't need to add any pectin if you're making a raspberry
totally.
jam.
Yeah,
But like all of this other stuff, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Probably the pectin's just hiding right under the peel there. But I've never
Oh,
thought about pineapple pectin before.
And I never will.
No, and it's a good thing you don't have to.
no, you won't have to anymore unless you want to rebake that again one day or do
That's
a fruit
true.
caramel again one day.
It was really funny. All of our cookies were raw in that technical. And then like before they started judging us, they're like, listen, we're not really gonna judge you on your cookie because they were all raw. And we were all just like, heck yeah, good for us. Pew, 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 pew. We're all on the same page. Good for us. That means it's not our fault, probably. I'll take it. Thank you so much.
That's hilarious.
That
How come they
is.
were all raw?
Well, I looked at the recipe afterwards, and I think they needed like 10, 15 more minutes in the oven than any of us gave them.
Oh,
So that would be why.
Well,
oops.
that they wouldn't be dry at least. That would
That's
be
true.
good.
They'd be very moist.
Yes, they would be.
Raw is usually moist.
They
Mm,
were supposed to be crunchy.
the whole way through, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Who
Yeah.
knew?
It's just it's not a very tasty bake as far
That's
as
fair.
I'm concerned. Like, what happened to all of them? Did people eat them? No, because
I
they're raw
honestly don't
cookies.
know. I don't even think I tasted mine.
I hope they gave them to the raccoon family.
That would be my dream. Just
Yeah.
keeping the raccoons alive. That's
The raccoons are like, it's
sign
a
me up.
sprinkle party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
I
yeah,
like that version the best.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's just say that's what happened. Right? Yeah, I think
Raccoon
that
I'm
sounds
in.
family
I'm
had
in.
a sprinkle party
yeah.
with it after.
Oh, Christina,
Yes.
did we write out a this or that for Erica?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
I never got it.
What? I
I'm
sent it
gonna
to you via
check
text.
now. Oh, there it is.
Oh, you did get it.
I just now got it.
Imagine that.
What do you think? Do you think we should play a little game of this or that?
Is it time for this or that?
I don't know. Do you have more questions?
Oh,
You know, Erica, I'm sure you understand this because when I was in school, I to become a care aide, we did a little thing about how what our learning style is. And
Mm.
I discovered that my learning style is abstract random. And it made me
Oh,
so happy that I was abstract random. It was like the best news ever. And I kind of feel like maybe you're a little abstract random.
oh, I am so sorry to say I'm visual.
yeah, I
Well,
am
I think
too.
I like a visual
you
every
can be
time.
visual and abstract random at the same time. It's
Okay, thank goodness.
like
I'll take both.
linear, focused, like there are different parts of the whether you're visual or spatial or
Oh, I think I just have
auditory.
ADHD, but that's cool. I'm in.
That, I
Mhm.
mean, that's just a special type of abstract random, right?
Excellent.
Abstract random.
Abstract random.
Hmm.
I had this girl that was in my class and she was like I always say she was everything on the outside that I am on the inside. Like she had tattoos everywhere and all kinds of piercings and she had this like curly fiery red hair and whatever. And she was also abstract random and so every time we saw each other we would go abstract random and it just made us very happy.
I'm so glad. More
So,
people for the tribe.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
too fun. Too
Christina's
fun.
just like I don't understand.
I'm not
You're like,
abstract
that sounds
random.
really nice. I'm
I'm
so happy
very,
for you.
I'm a visual learner with like process,
Mm.
Yeah.
step
Which
by step. No.
Which is good. We need to have that. That's why I waited for you to send me the list. And it's also why I didn't know that there was a list.
Yeah, well, that explains it.
It's important to have people who build you up where you fall and
Yeah,
the other way
we have to,
around. So I
And
think
that's
it's just
why,
a well-matched pair.
there
I
you
would say
go.
so. Yeah,
Exactly. Thank you, Erica.
You're so
yeah.
welcome.
Oh,
Thanks.
very nice, very nice.
Varnas, Varnas,
Very nice, very nice.
Varnas,
All
Varnas.
righty. Well, let us play this or that then.
Have you heard us play this or that with
I
anyone else
have.
before?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
so we don't
All
need to
right.
explain to you how this goes. First question, coffee or tea?
I will go coffee. I like the experience of drinking coffee. I like every day I have off, I walk to the coffee shop and I have a cup of coffee, but I drink like 8 cups of tea a day. But it's just like my go-to quick. Do I like coffee flavored things? No. Do I like tea flavored things? Yes.
Mm,
Okay, that makes sense.
that
It's
makes
a good
total sense.
balance. Yeah.
I I actually quite loved coffee and tea week. That was the
Mm,
best week in the town.
I'm so
Well,
glad.
Savory Week was probably one of my favorite, but close second was coffee and tea
Mhm.
week, I think.
Yeah, I
Totally.
liked it
I
too.
loved coffee and tea week because like I was like, I do not know how to make things taste like tea, like a very strong, aggressive way. And so this is a great learning opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of the opposite of you because I like the ritual of tea, but I
Mhm.
drink coffee like 3 times a day to kind of get through my day. But the sitting down with a cup of tea and the feeling of tea, that
Mm,
for me,
mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
very relaxing and chill. But what kind of tea do you like or do you drink?
Earl Grey.
Hmm.
Earl
Mm.
Grey as much as I possibly can.
Do you like London fogs?
Yeah, I do. They're not like my go-to
Mm.
because mostly because they're like $3 extra, and I'm like, that's not for me.
There.
But it's I like that I do like how they taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you do have your coffee, when you walk to your coffee shop, how do you order
Mhm.
your coffee?
Um, I do a special roast with steam milk. But the special roast is like whatever roast they have that day with steam milk. Good to
Okay.
go.
So
Nice.
it's
So you're mixing it
pretty
up a little
easy.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Very good.
Yes.
All right. Next one, bird watching or
Mm.
baking.
Ooh, nesty.
We didn't tell you they were going to be easy.
I think baking because sometimes you don't see any birds.
Oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
How
My
long would you stay out there then if you're wanting to do bird watching and you don't see any birds? How long do you wait before you decide you're done?
Am I being paid to do it? Because then I wait until 10:30 a.m. and then I leave. If it's unpaid, I'll maybe an hour
Okay.
tops.
okay.
I'm not seeing anything like because you usually it's like a part of a walk, so you don't like just sit down and like wait for them to come to you.
Yeah.
It is a strategy. It's just not my strategy.
That would be
Gotcha.
really hard to do. Just sit still and just scope the
Totally.
skies.
Right? I don't have that kind of attention span. But one time I was in Belize and they have the pyramids that you can still climb. And so then you can like just sit at the top and it's like in the canopy and you can just wait and birds literally will come to you. And then
Oh,
they're so close because they're like on a branch and you're at the branch level and you go, oh, that's very close and you're very handsome. And he says, thank you so much. And then flies away.
there you go. That's very cool. So, do
It
you
is.
capture your birds as well, like for photographs? Not capture them like I'm
I,
going to take you home, but more
I go,
like,
you're mine now.
You're
I love
very
you so much.
handsome.
yeah, exactly. You're so handsome. You're coming home with me tonight.
I do. My boyfriend and I we started doing bird photography together, and
Yeah,
it's just great.
it's
Yeah.
And I can
awesome.
be like, look at this bird I know saw 8 years ago, still pretty cute. I know. Anyways, let's keep walking.
Nice.
Probably not around anymore.
No,
I don't know.
Sorry, write
blump
down.
blump.
Okay, let's
Wow,
just
that's a
change.
downer. My sister-in-law's a
I'm
huge
just being
bird.
random.
My sister-in-law's a huge bird watcher.
Mm.
And she's part of this club online. And she takes beautiful pictures of birds. And so every year she actually makes us a calendar for
That's
Christmas.
Oh,
nice.
It's beautiful. Like her photography is like mind-blowingly gorgeous.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really
Our
cool.
work
It's
does
such
that too, and then you get swag if you get picked. And we have been picked every year, thank goodness. But this year, my partner Sam, he has 3 photos in the calendar, and I only have one, but it's the
oh,
main one. But I have been usurped, and he's winning.
and
So we got to get our numbers back up.
competition.
I'll
It's not
never
a
let you
competition,
forget
but it's
that.
always a competition, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, keep it spicy, you know. And
Right, for sure. I mean, that's
There you go.
bragging rights, right?
That's pretty impressive that you guys have 4 out of the 12 photos.
it's awesome. We had a lot of field work this summer, so it worked
Nice.
out.
That's
That's
awesome. Did you
awesome.
guys work together?
We work at the same company, but he's a fish biologist and I do plants. So never the two shall meet, which is the perfect scenario because then
Yeah.
we know all the characters and each other's stories, but we never actually have to work together, which is key
Oh, so that works out really well.
So
Nice.
how did you meet each other then?
at work.
Okay, it was at work. Even
Yep.
though never shall they meet, they did actually meet, and it was
They
a good
did meet by chance. I was
Like,
friends with somebody who was his crew second, and then we all hung out together, and then we
nice.
started
Ah,
dating after that.
How long have
there
you
you
been
go.
together?
We have been together, oh, 4 years? Yes, it's 2004. We got together in 2020. Perfect.
Great. And how does he feel watching you on the show?
It was really, he gets so stressed.
Oh,
He hates being on TV and he hates cameras. And so when we had to film the bio, he literally was just like there with me most of the time. And he was a stress case. He was like, I hate this for me and for you. And I went,
oh.
okay, you're going to love the next 3 months.
All right.
But
Oh,
he's so in it and he has so many opinions and I love to hear them. And then we just gossip and like talk shit. It's the best.
Yeah. And
sounds
now
like
was
a
he
good
one of
relationship.
like when you did all of your practice bakes, was he
Mm.
one of your critics of your practice bakes? And yeah.
He was, but it was more for edibility because he thinks everything is pretty good, but
Mm.
nothing is great. I've yet to get a this is great from him, but that's okay. Always on the lookout for something better.
Yeah, something to aspire
There
to,
you
right?
go.
Mhm.
As long as he was also giving you like, it would be great if it had more whatever, right?
You're literally describing my biggest dream. Usually it's pretty vague.
Hmm. So that's not
Then I
helpful.
bring it to my mom and I go, Mom, pretend you don't like this and then tell me about it. And she goes, this is not very light. And I go, oh, yes, good, good, good.
Hmm. Need
That's
to
a
make
really
it
great
later.
point.
That's helpful.
That is
I know,
very,
I know who to get criticism and constructive feedback from. It's not people at work. They're just like, free food that is
Yeah.
pretty edible. I'm in.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Great.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're
Fair,
like,
fair.
that's not, I don't want to, don't, I'd be mean. Pretend I want you to be mean. We'll be
But
Be
great.
mean.
they can't be mean because there's, even though people say, tell me the good, the bad, the ugly, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes they might get offended, right? And I know
Totally.
for you, you wouldn't, right? Because you wanted to
Who
learn and
knows?
all
I could be
this
very
stuff.
sensitive.
But maybe in the back of their mind, if they were like really honest about something, maybe the threat of you not bringing anything back to them ever again would be a real
It's
thing.
you got to play the long-term game. That's a very good point.
They
Yeah.
didn't want to risk that.
Yeah. They're like, well, I don't hate it, so
Hmm.
do it again.
There you go.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
like it more next time.
And it's something that you have to be able to know them enough to know when they're like,
Mm,
yeah, no, this isn't really good when they're smiling to
right.
your face,
Or
right?
you got to like rephrase the question and be like, if there was one thing you would change about it, what
Hmm.
would it be? And they go, oh, now that you mention it, I would like it if it wasn't chocolate, or like,
Okay.
Right.
I wish this was stronger.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
if this was the last thing on earth, would you eat
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
That doesn't give you much. It doesn't
Would
give
you
you much.
spit it out if I wasn't watching?
Yes.
Oh,
That would be sad. You
well,
That would
probably
be sad.
you
well, I
But
probably
I
think
would
don't
have
make
questions.
anything people
Maybe
would
we would
spit
learn
at.
something.
Ray
Yeah.
Jan had that happen to him, right? I think he was sharing with us. I think it was on one of the worst critic you had for a bake or the worst thing somebody
Mm.
told you about your bake. And I think he shared
Mhm.
about how he brought these cookies to a party and somebody took
Oh
a bite of
yeah.
it and then they actually put it back in their napkin and put it in the garbage or something.
My nightmare. That's my
That,
nightmare. I want criticism, but that is my nightmare.
Yeah,
that
right.
would kill me.
That
That I think would destroy me. I'm
would be
bad
like
enough
a
when people don't eat the stuff that I bring. And I'm like running around
Right?
from office to office, like, there's cake there. Can you eat this cake, please?
I don't know who made it, but there's cake there.
Yeah, probably not me.
Right? Or you go to a party and you're like, there's leftovers, and that is a bad sign.
right.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
know. I
Very
know.
bad sign.
It's
Yeah.
hurt. Or that nobody wants to take any home if there are some leftovers, right?
Hmm.
And everybody's like, no, I'm good. Thank you. What do you mean
And you're
you're
like,
good? Thank you.
Yeah.
that's where you cut it up and you say, oh, I didn't ask. This is for
Yes,
you to take home.
here.
Yes. You have like
I've
20
I've
to-go
I've taken
boxes
out the first two questions of how much and will you. It's just
here.
Here you go.
shoving,
Yes.
It
And that's
freezes
kind.
well.
right?
That's probably
And like,
good.
once it leaves the door, it's none of my business what happens to that cake.
You're envisioning it being well enjoyed and people like,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I actually don't mind what happens to it as long
Yeah.
as I don't have to see it. Because I
Yeah.
have like definitely done that thing where you like forget about something in the fridge and you're like, well, this is dry and disgusting now. So you just like toss it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's none of my business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
It's
go.
totally the case. Okay. Speaking of pie or cake?
I've been thinking about this one all week, actually.
You
Really?
knew it was going to be part of this?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I listen to baking scraps. And I think it's pie.
Hmm.
Pie.
I think it's always has to I would always want pie. The worst pie is better than the worst cake.
Okay. What kind of
Hmm
pie is your favorite pie?
Banana cream pie.
Oh,
Oh,
that is a
Hmm
good pie.
that is a
Thank you so
tasty
much.
one.
I
Yeah.
appreciate this
With a graham
validation. It is very
cracker,
good.
graham cracker crust.
I actually hate graham cracker crust, but if you could do like a shortbread crust
Yeah.
or even like full crust, I'm in.
Hmm.
Okay.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Doesn't he just?
It
Oh,
so does. Have you ever had a banoffee pie?
Mm.
no.
I think I would like a banoffee pie. Do you know
I
what
can't
banoffee
imagine it'd
pie
be
is,
bad.
Christina?
I
No, I mean
do.
bananas and caramel and whipped cream and oh,
Custard
Can't go wrong.
so good. Yeah.
sounds nice. It always sounds nice.
Yeah. My Welsh friend keeps saying he's going to make me a banoffee pie, and it's been 10 years and I haven't gotten one yet. So,
It is a very
That's
British,
hurtful.
yeah. Yeah.
it's a British,
A British
Yeah,
thing.
a British thing.
it is.
All right. Oh, I
All right.
like this next question.
Like this next one?
Yeah.
It's one we've not had on this or that.
No, it's
FYI.
Erica's fault that we have this
Oh,
question.
Yeah.
somebody specific. That's nice.
Hazelnuts or almonds?
Hazelnuts.
Yeah.
I mean, easy question, but I
Yeah.
still like
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. I liked your half and half hazelnut
Thank you.
almond. Yes.
Me too. I was just
Yes.
like, this is, I would
Marzipan.
eat this, and it
Delicious.
is useful as marzipan. Also,
Yes.
that's what my rocks were made out of.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you. We weren't
good.
quite
Yeah.
sure. Okay,
hmm
that's very
So it
cool.
was like I left the skins on the hazelnuts because I wasn't going to spend like 20 minutes rubbing them off. So I just blended them in there, and it made everything kind of have a speckled look. So if you kept it as a natural color, it was just like brown. But if you add some black or gray, then you get like this like really natural looking rock.
They
And
did
then
look
I just
really
kind of
natural.
yeah, and then I just would just like mold it to my fingers and make those like organic shapes and plop them down. They looked sensational.
They did. I loved your koi
Brilliant.
pond.
Thank you. I am so mad at myself that I didn't just slice it. I had just hyper fixated on how big it had to be because we
Right.
in the brief it has like a dimension specification. And I just hyperfixated that it had to be this size. So I was terrified of cutting off any little bit. And
Mhm.
then I only thought a serrated knife would work. So then it didn't even occur to me to use like a sharp, like
Mhm.
straight blade and just do one nice cut. But then I looked back at the pictures later and I was like, it literally takes 2 seconds to do that. You didn't want to do that? What was wrong?
Yeah.
But I was literally down to the wire. I wanted to make my bench so bad, but I'd already like covered up my stovetop so I couldn't make any caramel. Then I was making like bright red wafer cookies, and I was like, I gotta do this.
I like that you used the wafer cookies throughout your whole
You're
entire
out?
season.
Yes. Had you made them before? Or
Mm-mm.
was it the
I had
technical
made
that
it.
inspired you to make them for your future bakes?
I had actually gotten the waffle iron after I got accepted onto the show because I was going to make a stroop waffle with like a cookie box, but then I changed my mind. And so then I had it and I brought it anyways in case I wanted to do it for something later, which is also why in episode 2, I cut all my wafers in half because I was like, wafers aren't this thick. I got to cut them in half. Who's the most clever little baker? Wasn't me. However, then I made my own wafers in my hotel room, and they were so good when I used like a different wafer recipe that was like actually quite bubbly
Okay.
and snappy, and it was so good. And then I was like, well, this is like a great.
Medium.
Thank you so much. This is a great medium to do stuff with. And then every episode, I was like, well, I could use it again.
And you did.
It's right there.
And you
Yeah,
did.
and I did, and I don't regret it. It was nice.
No. And they were
No.
awesome. They were the perfect little additions, like your little mousse
I thought so.
macarons for the
Thank
antlers
Yes,
you.
and then
so
your
Right.
bench. Yeah.
So
yeah, the
cute.
bench was really
We
cute.
approved of the wafer cookies.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much. I
we
appreciate
did.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got so caught up in my head while I was filming of just like I was so afraid of getting bored with my own bakes that
Mm.
I like constantly wanted like new and different ideas that like released a little dopamine in my brain. So that's why I was like, oh, ube and passion fruit in a lime cake that should just be lime. It would have been a more cohesive idea to do lime on the inside with lime and lime, but I was bored. And then and then I was afraid of using too many citruses because I'd used orange the week before and I wanted a different fruit, but every fruit seems to have been done. And I was really irritated and bored with like spray berries. And then I was like, peaches. Never use peaches as an additional. It should be peaches as the main focus with something else, never in equal parts or less. That's
But
a
I
bad idea.
really liked the peach
I
hazelnut
thought that was
You think
combination.
you like the peach, but you can't taste the peach because peach doesn't have a very strong flavor.
no, yeah, and
Okay.
against the hazelnut, and yeah,
Mhm.
that has a very pronounced flavor.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I liked the colors very, very much.
Thank
They
you.
were
Me too.
beautiful. Your
Yeah,
cake was
those were
so
great.
gorgeous. It was so
Oh, thank you.
nature, organic, that
Mm-hmm.
whole sort of feel, which is
Very Erica.
perfect for your
Thank you.
ethos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really liked how it looked
Yeah.
once I cut it.
It was
Oh,
clear. Like once that cut was done, I mean, it looked
oh,
beautiful before, but that cut and then how clean all your layer work
So
was, it
good.
was amazing.
Yeah. And I
yeah.
had like 15 plus layers per like sheet of like cake pan I had. So I had just so many layers. And then I was like, well, I get cheese.
How many times did you practice that at home?
I practiced it 2 times.
Okay.
Did you hate it? Like,
I didn't hate it, but I did it's a very dense cake. So it's
yeah,
not something that you really want a big slice of. It's more like a nice little thin sheet and you're like, "Oh, this is nice."
yeah. Well, it's all
But
eggs.
it's all eggs.
Yeah.
You like hazelnut flavored eggs? I bet you do. I have the cake for
Probably.
you.
And you may taste a tiny little bit of peach
A little
occasionally.
peach.
It
Not
might be
likely.
sweetened with peach, huh?
A little
But I'm
peachy.
not going to tell you. You have to figure that out on your own.
I totally get where you're coming from with being like, well, I've already done that kind of flavor combination in another
Hmm.
bake. But I mean, Pamela
Yeah,
had great success doing many, many
coffee.
coffee flavored cakes
You did.
and dulce de leche as well.
Yep.
Only I
So
got my head out of my own butt. I could have done so much better.
I think you
I,
did pretty
you
well.
did
You
pretty
got
damn
Whatever.
fine.
I
all
did
the
pretty
way
good.
to the semifinals.
Yeah,
That was
I'd say
pretty
I don't have any regrets.
good.
So
nice. Good.
You shouldn't. Yeah,
yeah,
no.
thank you.
And you didn't even have to go home probably. You probably just hung around for
No,
until
I did go home and I was
finale.
so happy too. I was so tired. I was like, I got kicked off and I was like, honestly, I'm having a lot of big feelings, but I'm very excited to go home and I'm very excited to sleep for 2 days and I'm very excited to stop baking.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I can get that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Good.
Because
I'm
at that
glad.
point I had been baking 31 days straight.
Wow.
It's it's too many. I was really tired.
So
I'm
did you
sure. And
stop
then
baking
so
for a while?
how
Sorry, go ahead.
how long a break did you take afterwards? When did you
I
bake again?
had 5 days and then I had to go back for the finale.
But
Okay.
you
But
didn't have to
did you
bake at the finale, which is good.
No,
no.
thank
So
goodness.
when did you
43
start baking?
degrees. That's
Oh,
how hot it is in that tent for the finale.
oh,
How many days?
43.
that's ridiculous.
I wouldn't
That's
have survived.
Okay, but they're baking bread. So maybe it's a good thing that they're baking bread and not like uh, bomb
chocolate.
Alaskas or something ice creamy.
Tempering chocolate.
Yeah. Uh,
But
That
you did
fills me with
probably hit melt point though. Instead, you
just with your
probably
like hands. Like imagine the butter. It's already
yeah,
soupy.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Ew, that's awful. I wish they could do something about that because I mean I know that it's something that you don't really see it when you're watching, but
Hmm.
hear all these stories about it and it's like, yeah, it's kind of part of the whole feeling of being in the tent is just being like,
Hmm.
okay, well, it's going to be super duper hot.
Hmm. Yeah.
But does it have to be? Why does it have to be? There's got to be a way, like make the
And it was
structure
wild because
look
it's
like
not
a
even like
tent.
moving it up in the time frame because we started in May and it was still 30 degrees in the
yeah.
tent and then we ended and it was still crazy hot. The tent is just it was that's the nice part. It started how it ended very sweaty.
You just sweated for like 5 weeks straight.
This is my
Oh,
blood, sweat, and tears. Mostly sweat and a little tears. Not much blood at all.
I was
So
like, did you have any blood?
I didn't. I was
that's
very
good.
proud.
That's very, very good. All right, here we go. Next question. Buttercream. American, Swiss, Italian, or some other?
I am team French buttercream.
I've always wanted to try
Mhm.
it and I still have not.
I have a Claire Saffitz has a really nice recipe for it.
Okay,
Okay.
point me in its
That's the one I
direction.
like. Hmm.
French buttercream is
So
good.
that's what you did for
Tasty.
most of your cakes on in
No, I did Swiss meringue and Italian meringue, and sometimes I planned to do Italian, but then just muscle memory made me do Swiss meringue buttercream. But I made French buttercream for my box, my shadow box.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I used, because you make a sugar syrup, and I used lemon juice instead of water. So then my sugar syrup was like a little lemony without having to add any extra liquid. And it
Nice.
was very tasty. It's very
Thank
tasty.
you.
That sounds really good.
That does sound
It
really
was really good. That was a good cake. That one I liked.
Yeah. Is that the one that you're most proud of?
Ooh, yeah, sure.
I was watching you and I was like, oh, they're making a window pane out of isomalt and everything. Then you're just like, and I was like, wasn't it good? What was wrong with it?
It was good because I had I had practiced with the isomalt and it was always very bubbly, so you couldn't really see through
See
it
through
well.
it.
So then I was like, oh, I'll bring this hammer, and then it can be like an experience thing. You have to like crack the glass to get into it, and
Right.
then the day of, and with the cracked glass, it looked quite good, and you could see the bugs and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then the day of, I was like, okay, well, I'll try and get the bubbles out. And if I can't get the bubbles out, I'll just break it. And if I break it too many times, or like I break it too hard, but then I made two top frames as like a backup just because I had the dough, so I may as well.
Yeah.
And it looked really good. And then part of it broke anyways, and I was like, well, now it's a theme. How nice.
Yeah, it was such a great story. It was
Yeah.
Thank
brilliant.
you. It really
Yeah.
came together really cool. And then Kyla came to me like a couple days later, and she was like, I just heard that that wasn't your plan. That's insane. That's so cool. Good job. And I was like,
See,
hey,
we call those,
for me.
yeah, we call those happy accidents, right?
Meant to be. It's good to
Yep.
have a plan A, B, C, and D.
But it's just too much to think about.
There's too
Mm,
many things.
It's too many things.
I
So
overthink
that's what
enough
you
as
were
it is.
doing.
I don't need to make more.
That's what you were doing with the torch. You were trying to clear out bubbles from
Hmm.
it. Makes sense.
Yeah, but then it was getting too hot, so then it was making more bubbles, and I was like, I'm just gonna break this. This sucks.
Well, it
It
was
was
so,
great.
the effect of that was just the impact of that
No
edit.
pun
And
intended.
yes, exactly. Puns always intended. But it was so perfect. It was really, really
Mhm.
perfect for what you were doing. And again, the whole story behind your shadow box. It was,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
really
Thank
beautiful.
you.
impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really happy with that one. That one might be my favorite one, actually. The moose, I think that whole week, really, because the moose, I love the moose.
I
And
know.
then the shadow box, I love the shadow box. Then I made this like is it basil lemonade and strawberry cake. It is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh. And a
I
spicy
know.
cookie. I love a spicy cookie.
It
Yeah.
all sounded
It,
so good. We
yeah.
were just obsessed with your flavors and what
Thank
everything
you so
looked like
much.
that week. And oh, it was so good.
It
It was a
was.
good
And
week.
Vincent was like, "Well, that's not fair. I think that they should have had to make the wafer cookies." And I'm like, "They did make the wafer
Yeah.
cookies."
I was like, I did do that, and it sucked a lot of time.
It would, right? You have to make a whole new batter and everything, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looked
Yeah.
fantastic. That was a good
I'm so
week
glad.
for you.
That was a good week. It was actually really nice that Jen won this week. I mean, her showstoppers are always so incredible. Oh, I can't imagine being able to like pull those out. Um, it was
I
really
know.
good because then I was like, oh, you know what? I get to be a star baker in my own heart. And isn't that self-validation a very important lesson to learn? Yes, I will take that. Thank you so much.
Well
Aw.
done. Good for
And
you.
honestly, like when we did our recap, I think we talked
Hmm,
about how those 2 weeks that Jen was the star baker, if
right there with her.
you were right up there. You really, really
Yeah.
were.
There were three
Honestly.
different weeks that we were like, oh,
Yep.
wait, you were robbed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not robbed. Jen definitely was incredible. But we joke, we both watched the Tour de France, and she's the yellow jersey, and I was the green jersey those weeks.
Mm.
Thank you so much for getting that.
Just like frantically on your heels. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla. I actually really don't like chocolate in baking much at all.
Huh.
I find it overpowering, and
Mhm.
usually when you like go to somewhere, it's usually chocolate on chocolate on chocolate,
Yeah,
and I'm like, ah, there's too much, and I don't
I
like it.
agree. Yeah, I'm with you
Yeah,
on that. I think if there's chocolate in a dessert, it has to be balanced off with something
totally.
else. It
Like
can't be,
I don't
coffee.
want to be overwhelmed.
and even caught like, that's what I liked about Pamela's fika cake that she did. Because she had,
Mhm.
there wasn't like it was coffee, there was just that nice bit of chocolate that just kind
Yeah.
of like was a sort of a supporting cast member rather than it being like
Totally,
full in your face chocolate. Because most chocolate desserts are full in your face chocolate. And then
totally.
that dulce de leche
Oh, so
buttercream.
beautiful. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, Christina, you've made a variation of that like three
Three
times now.
times.
Yeah.
Yes,
Me
correct.
too.
I love it that much.
Yes.
I was like, yes, I have, and I shan't stop. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. Actually sent Pamela a note saying, I think I can throw away all my other cake
Yeah.
recipes now and just bake yours.
You're my forever cake. What a
Yes,
gift for both of us.
That's pretty
right?
amazing. I hope
Yeah.
she,
So,
I'm sure she appreciated that.
yeah, I didn't get anything back from her on that one. No, I'm just kidding.
She's like, yeah, no, cold shoulder, but I had hope.
No, she was like, that's so kind of you. So yeah,
She's so
nope.
sweet. Oh, what a,
She's such a good recipe developer. I've made a couple of her things. Oh, they're just excellent every time.
she's
Yeah.
Ooh,
brilliant. Yeah.
she's
Her
brilliant.
mango was it mango lime, the one that she just
Mm,
made this week. That
hmm
one sounded really good too.
Which one
Yeah,
Or
was
in
it's a
her
very moist cake for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in her
mango?
Diwali cake
Hmm
that she did.
I'm just looking, so I can't remember. We don't have to, we don't have to saffron cardamom mango cake.
Right.
That was
Yeah,
it.
in the little hearts.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so that sounded so good.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really good. Um, do you like chocolate at all? Like just by itself? Like would you have a square of
Oh
chocolate?
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
definitely. I don't have a lot of oh, what would you call it? Willpower. And so like it just there's a lot of it that happens all at once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I don't really keep it in the house, but it's more of a safety issue than a preference.
I love it. It's like ice
My,
cream in our household. For my
yeah.
husband, there's no stop button.
Oh, really?
Right?
Off
It's
switch.
like when it's like any good snack. You can't have too good of ones or they're gone immediately.
Yeah.
It's
I
very
have
true.
emergency food in my car and it's the stuff I don't want to eat.
So
Smart.
it's really an emergency only situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
It's a lot of
emergency,
seeds. It's
break
not for
ice
me.
malt. Clunk.
Exactly. Right?
And you've got like a little mallet that you could use for that.
Right? It's perfect. I'm
You
just
can eat
thinking
some
ahead all the
fondant
time.
bugs. Was that mine or was that no,
Next one's yours.
that was yours. Okay. Macaron or choux?
Neither.
No.
I have only made macarons, I guess, 3 times now. Um, and I don't like choux because it gets wet. It gets soggy so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Even in Calgary, because you have drier
Yeah.
temperature there.
You'd
So
I wish. I wish. I wish. I have to wait till I go see my mom in Edmonton to make all the macarons. The one time I did it. And then I made choux and it pops up nice, but it just like you add one filling and it's immediately soggy. And I go, oh,
mm,
you can't even keep these overnight. So it doesn't, yeah.
yeah, you got to
What
make
a
them the
pain in the
day.
butt.
Yeah,
Hmm
got to make them the day of. I made that mistake for my audition bake this
Mm.
season. I did it was a savory choux that I
It
made,
was
but I
Oh,
had
yum.
to had to make them that day. So I was up at like
Hmm
4:30 in the morning making choux. Well, actually, I made the choux, froze it in like molds,
hmm
and but had to
Smart.
bake them, and then I had to fill them that day. But I swear, by the time they got to the audition, they were probably
Soup.
they were so good. That was my favorite part of your audition bake. I say it every time.
Nice.
Well, she does homemade chorizo and then she had goat's
Oh,
cheese in there and oh my gosh, it was So like I drool thinking about it
I
because
was
I
gonna say,
love the
excuse my
savory.
language, but fuck me up.
Christina, you know what you need to make for
I'll
Erica
make you some whenever we connect up. So yeah, I
when
missed the
we
chorizo making party. Actually, it just happened a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's so
Um,
nice.
and we did it every year growing up,
Mm.
making our own homemade chorizo. I'm Portuguese, so it
Mm.
was just always one of our traditions. So my dad and his partner made chorizo with a couple of friends, but I wasn't able to make it up this year. But
Mm.
yeah, which is too bad. But they've got it all ready for me, which is awesome. So I just have to plan a trip home to pick it
Oh,
Mm.
up.
perfect. It's so funny. I find that like not a lot of people have those kind of like community food making like moments anymore. And so my best friend, we have a friendship series called Do It Dumpling, and we just like make different kinds of dumplings together. And we just finished our pierogi one, and we made like 110 pierogies in one sitting. It was
Oh, that sounds
perfection,
awesome.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah.
sounds
I
really good.
grew up with that. That's what we did
right?
like all the time growing up. And then
Totally,
my friend and I actually do Christmas baking
Cooking.
day. Uh,
totally.
yeah, and that's always
It's the
fun. We've
best time.
been doing that 20 years, 23 years and counting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Awesome.
Wait,
I have the same thing. Every year I like do a bunch of sugar cookies and then I'm like, every year I have to invite a new friend and they have to experience this with me.
that's awesome.
I love it. Nice.
And they never know what they're getting into and it's way too much.
You do like a bunch of piped, like decorated piped sugar cookies? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I
Oh,
usually get bored halfway through and go, I overcommitted. But
I,
I keep doing it, so how bad could it be?
yeah,
it sounds like so
exactly.
much fun. You
So
should
fun.
invite Christina this year.
Right?
Group
But
She
activities.
needs she needs some practice.
yes, I suck at highly decorated sugar cookies.
I don't have the
Or
patience for highly decorated sugar cookies.
I like the marble dip. That's one of my
Mm.
signatures, right? And
Hmm.
it's a beautiful effect. And then I'll go over with some nice gold in there. It looks gorgeous. Nobody
Oh,
complains.
bada boom, bada bing. Sounds
And
like
then
a
I
good plan.
do, yeah, I like wet on wet techniques.
Mm.
Oh, you know,
Yes.
because then you
That's
can
good for people who don't have
Some nice
patience.
feathering.
yes,
Always. It's
Yes.
always a crowd pleaser.
It looks
perfect.
it's amazing what you can do with it. Like you go dot dot dot, swipe
And
through with
then
a
whoop,
toothpick. You're
whoop,
like,
whoop.
And
whoa!
now this cookie's in love. I don't make the rules.
Yep, exactly.
That's just the way it
Perfect.
goes. Yeah.
Works out well.
Mhm.
So
Oh, this one I think we know the answer to
yeah, I
already.
think we know the answer to
Oh,
this one
nice.
already.
Hmm.
Signature, technical, or showstopper?
Ooh, technical.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I always when I think about being on the show, I think I would look forward to the technical the most. Even if you have like a super idea for a signature or a showstopper, it's just
Hmm.
the fun of being like, okay, I have no idea what's under this
Right?
Yep.
and
And
just
then
like
it's not even like, because especially if you're trying something new, then you're buying a bunch of ingredients. You have to find out what it is, have to
Mhm.
kind of like think about what it is you're doing, and you might research how other people do it and if their recipe is better, if you should like pick and choose which parts. This one, it's all there for you. You're
Mhm.
only going to be there for 2.5 hours. Everyone around you is stressed, which helps your stress. And you don't know what it's going to look like. What a fun surprise.
Everybody did such a great job with the technicals. Like there was
Really did.
there wasn't a technical that looked bad at
Oh,
all.
then you must be forgetting Regina's schmoo cake because that was the
Okay,
funniest thing
well,
I've ever seen.
Schmoot cake.
we'll forget the schmoo cake for
We
now.
will. We'll forget the schmoo cake. It was very funny. It was perfect. I was like, this is like on TV, but it's in front of my eyes. That's so fun.
And I just love how he just took that whole moment and like
That's
just
right.
went with it, right? He was like so happy to come in
He was
last
like,
on a
"Oh, that
technical.
one? That's me. It's me, Regina. You can tell. Hi. I love it. It's so him.
He's
What a
so
character.
funny. That
Oh,
one
he's the best.
that they just put out that video today about how many raspberries are on the cake, and
Mhm.
he guessed 87, and they're like 59, and he goes, "I was so close."
Yes. He takes every single I love people who live life like that though, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
It's
so
intoxicating.
beautiful.
Yeah, it
It's,
is.
you know,
Hmm.
to find the joy in absolutely every single moment, whether it's
Yeah.
like you're in last place in the technical or
Hmm.
you're 30 off your count. It's like just it's so wonderful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
those people are always the most enchanting people. And you're like, I just want more of this, please.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what your schedule is looking like, but I have room in mine.
Exactly. There's always room for people like that in your life.
Mhm.
And you know, the
Yeah,
world is in such need of more of those people.
definitely.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And especially in the tent when everyone's like just like so taking their things so seriously. It's just so nice to have someone to be like, okay, like that, yeah, yeah, yeah. But look at this other thing. I
Yeah.
am very funny
Yeah.
and I am very lovable. And isn't that more fun to focus on? And you go, you're right, it is. I'm so sorry. What were you saying?
So
Well,
fun.
and you guys had a few people like that in the tent
Hmm.
this year, right? With
Hmm.
Reja, you, Rita, um,
Rita, yeah.
yeah, just
Patty.
Oh,
Patty. Yeah,
Patty's
Patty,
such a
Patty
sweetie.
just like
such a
making
scream.
sure everybody knows that she's famous and they're famous and they're
Yep.
hanging
And
out.
she's excited about seeing them, the famous people.
Yeah,
Yes.
famous people are exciting to hang out with. We are hanging
Mhm.
out with a famous person right
I know. This is
Right?
why we do this, because we get to meet
Oh,
famous
it's me.
people and
Oh.
talk to famous
now.
people.
You're like, who? Who
So I was
is
like,
it?
yeah, you talked to Rita. It was like awesome.
Is it weird? Like, kind of, you're kind of famous now. Like, literally,
I
you're
guess
on a
so. I'm
TV
I'm
show.
quasi famous in very niche circles.
Yes.
And honestly, that's the exact kind of circle I want to be famous in.
I was gonna say, you know what? It's the perfect circle, right? That you are
Mhm.
famous in, right? Because you love baking and it's your passion and that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get
I've
to,
been recognized once, and I'm like, honestly, that's the perfect amount of times for me to like have a little bit of ego and then be like, and that's it. But you and I cross a lot of people every day, so it's the best of both worlds.
yeah, it's
Oh,
kind of fun.
nice. Nice.
Have you had anybody like ask for interviews or anything like that, like in Calgary?
No,
That's
no.
okay.
Actually, Rita and I are doing a radio interview together during the Christmas
Oh,
season, so
so fun.
I can't wait. I love excuses to hang out with Rita, so that's my favorite part.
No
Nice.
kidding.
Aw,
Well, if we ever do our cross Canada tour, which we keep saying we're going
Yeah.
to do, although she thought we were going to be flying and I thought we were going to be driving, and I think driving would be super
definitely
fun,
flying.
but she does not want to drive.
That's a 12
Here's
hour
our
drive. I've done that drive too many times. You can skip it. It's okay.
right. See, here's our this or that. Flying
Yes,
or
Driving
this
or
or that.
driving?
The flights.
it
But
depends
then
where
I
you're
have
going.
to say, if you ever rent a car, it's a scam and so expensive.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it is. This is
So
very
on
true.
that part alone, I would say pro car. Plus, you really learn to love and cherish someone after a road trip because you've
Yeah.
seen them at their worst and you have to listen to them all day.
Yeah. Look at
And
the way
that's
she's
why
looking. I don't know.
flying is awesome.
Do you really think you would get sick of me?
No, you get sick of me.
Oh, is that what
That's the best
you're...
mystery. Who is it going to be? It's going to be someone.
Are we still gonna love each other? You know,
We
literally,
are. We are. Of
the
course.
first time that we met in person, we slept in the same bed together, which is kind
That's
of
a
ironic.
great starter.
It was, and we
And
were
It's
all night. It
important
was
to go
like,
from this point of nothing to this point too. I know how fast you breathe when you snore.
yeah, exactly.
It's all about the intimate details.
We didn't get to snoring actually because we just it was like a slumber party.
Oh,
We just
yeah,
kept talking. Like it was just
that's
a
cute. Okay.
yeah. It
it
was
was
so
great.
fun.
Yeah.
Just
And then she
whispering in hushed tones over the women, like lifting up their masks and being like, "Good, go to sleep." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." Anyways, how do you feel about ermine buttercream? Oh, so starchy.
and
Too
then she was
funny.
like, I like to have the TV on when I fall asleep. And I'm like,
You're like, "Yes,
it's
let's do
so
that."
stupid.
My favorite's Jerry Springer.
Oh my God.
You think it's going to be stressful, but it's actually quite nice.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's like going to see a horror movie and just approaching it with the like this is all fake, and if you just look at how fake it is, you'll just be laughing. It's going to be a comedy through the whole entire thing.
Totally.
That's
And then
Jerry
just think of
Springer.
somebody who was like who had to like in the background go, "This is a serious scene, okay? You're his cousin, and yet there's more."
Exactly.
This podcast has taken a really dark turn.
Extra random. All right,
Oh man.
let's move on to Nature Week or Arts and
Mm.
Crafts
Man, I loved both of those weeks.
Yes. And you slayed
I
it.
think Arts and Crafts Week.
Mm.
Yeah,
Because
I would like to
you
do that one again.
Yeah.
wow, because you don't like to bake things more than once. So that's
I
saying
know.
I didn't say I'd do the exact same thing though.
Mm.
oh, you have
I would
different
like a
ideas
second
now.
chance. Yeah,
Do
I
you
have
want to share?
improvements.
Share
Ooh,
something?
my focaccia didn't come out like great,
Hmm.
and I wish I had like folded like fresh herbs into the dough instead of I just spiced it. So I
Mm.
wish I could have done that. And then everything else was perfect. Except and then when I was making my buttercream, I didn't like make an in my practice ones, I had like ample leftover buttercream, but when I made it in the tent, I used all of the buttercream to make the green outside jello. And some of them have like this angle and some of them are like straight up. So I wish I could have made more buttercream to make all of the angles the same.
Right.
And otherwise it's perfect.
Yeah. No, it was
Oh,
your
I guess
jelly
add
cake.
more lime to the lime flavored cake. Sure. Wow. Yeah.
Right. But
That
passion
was
fruit,
brilliant.
I love passion fruit so, so, so
And
much.
with the ube, they interact so interestingly together because you just kind of get like the smooth coolness of the ube, and then you just kind of get like the sharp after bite of the
You
passion
get
fruit, and they
resentfully
move really.
punched in the face.
Yeah, it's like a smooth ride.
I love it.
Nice.
I do
But
love
yes,
that. I'm sorry I keep interrupting.
No worries. All right. So, so Arts and Crafts Week, you answered, right?
yeah, hmm
Perfect. All right. The last one. This is where there may or may not be a little bit of judgment.
perfect. I love judging.
Okay.
She's
Butter,
going to judge us.
she's going to judge us. Yes, that's totally cool. That's fair. That's totally fair. We are good to be judged. We're all right with that.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
I
But
don't
then,
want to be
actually, I'm
judged.
very sensitive and I don't like it.
I want
Sorry.
everybody to like me.
You
I
know,
withdraw my application. Thank you.
once you hit a certain age, it's like you don't give.
I only
You're like, you
have
can try to hurt me.
You know what?
Pathetic.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm okay with that.
I'm not. I'm only like 6 years younger than you. So like
You'll get there.
in six
But think of a
years.
6-year-old to like a newborn. Like that's night and day.
That is
That's true. That's
I don't
true.
even have kids.
percentage
You're
wise.
doing really well.
All right. So butter tarts, raisins or no raisins?
Pro raisin. I'm an adult and I eat my raisins. It took 25 years to get there, and I'm there, and I have to stay put.
Wait, don't kids eat a lot of raisins? Isn't that like they get the little sunripe snack
I
box?
didn't eat a butter tart till I was probably 22.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, I get that. And you like
But
raisins.
I do like the current idea. That
Yeah,
sounds nice.
currants are
I
good.
do. Sometimes people put like coconut in it, like shaved coconut, and I'm like, okay, weird, but I'll do it. I
Yeah.
really just like when you get the perfect scoop of like thick crust with the goop.
Hmm.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then anything else that's added on there is just
Yeah, sure.
extra
I mean, I
bonus.
down the hatch.
Okay, there you go.
She's really like wipe that judgment off your face, Christina.
There's no judgment here. I'm just,
These are just my natural eyebrows.
it's all good.
She's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly. These are my natural eyebrows.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look more awake. Is it working?
coffee for your
Just
eyebrows.
scared our whole audience. Sorry.
We've been making a few different faces in this podcast in the last episode because I made a lot of faces about the anise taste and the orange blossom. I'm so sorry, Erica. Like, blah.
In my defense, it was really, really, it was a very weak version of orange blossom. So you would have been safe. It was very
Okay,
light.
because it tastes like sunblock.
Totally.
Like,
But then once you add it with like the sharpness of like actual orange and like a little like warmth from the cardamom, it really like downplays it.
and then
That's if I was
more
going to
balanced.
justify the use of it,
Okay.
that's what I would say probably.
Okay,
I
I
would
can.
say that holds true for a lot of like really strong flavors.
Mm.
You don't
Yeah.
want it to be on its own. That's why I think this anise cake is like really off-putting because it's like
Mm.
that's what it is,
It's just
right?
so
It's
forward.
it's
Yeah.
so forward, and I'm not a fan of that flavor, as you
hmm
know. if you watch the recap episode or even previous ones. I think anytime we've spoken about anise, I'm like, but
Yeah,
Okay,
subtlety has no place in the tent. I tell you that for free.
no,
mhm,
that's true. Punching in the
no,
face. Um,
but yeah.
I have to say though, I realized when I was making this horror of a technical bake yesterday that I guess, and you're going to be so upset, Christina, because I remember how you reacted when I said I don't
Oh
mind
no,
rain.
please don't go there. Don't say you like anise now.
Okay, okay, I'm Dutch, right? So we have these delicious cookies that have this flavor to them. And I think I did not realize until yesterday when I was making that cookie dough that it must be anise flavor in those. I don't know if it's paper note or if it's
Mhm.
speculoos or if it's, I think it's something along the, I can't remember, but it tastes like that. And that I'm nostalgic for it. And as soon as I smelled that cookie dough yesterday, I was like, oh shoot, I like anise.
I like that. I like that. Shoot. I like it. I'm so sorry. I like it. I forgot. I liked
She's,
it.
she's so betrayed by me, and I feel bad.
Again,
I
again,
okay, but
again.
You
then
sit
I
next to
said
someone and you think you know them, and then they do this.
okay, but then I thought,
Twice.
okay,
Three
I
strike
know
rule, woman.
it
Three
is.
strike rule.
Oh, it is not. Okay, it's not a
Card trick is
betrayal of
not
you.
for this stage of your relationship. You got two strikes. That's not good.
I'm in trouble. Oh yeah, we definitely should not drive. Um,
No, it's all good. You know what?
and changing her mind is a woman's prerogative.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
definitely a woman. I'm changing my mind a lot.
that's fair. You know what? And again, we talk about this often. There are so many different flavors for a reason. There's a
Mhm.
Mhm.
flavor for everybody, flavor combos for everybody. And who's to say somebody's wrong?
Well, you
Totally.
better not.
No,
See,
but just
it's
know that
always
I won't ever be making anything with, well,
you
we'll
don't know.
never be making you butter tarts with raisins. I will bake with raisins, just not in butter tarts.
You know what'd be really funny though, if you like made a butter tart with no raisins, then you just like piled a bunch of raisins on top at the end and just like smushed them down and then went, I made it just for you.
Oh,
Just the way you like it. So
Erica,
raisin.
I love how you
I have
think.
so many good ideas. Like
That's,
I don't know what to
you
tell
are,
you.
wow. Yes.
It's a great idea. I'd probably pick off all the raisins.
You're
Abstract.
just like, you have hurt me in ways I cannot explain.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm at a loss now.
I don't understand myself half the time. And you know what? I think that's fun.
Hey, keep it interesting, keep it spicy. Mysteries within yourself. Hey,
Right.
There
Right.
you go.
Like it's totally okay. But I'm glad you love me anyway,
Of
Christina.
course I do. It's going to take a lot more than you not liking anise and you like raisins in your butter tarts to make me go away.
Thank you. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Don't tell me what it would take. I hope I never cross that line. Yeah.
Going to be totally fine, my dear. All good.
Well, Erica, do you
hmm.
have a baking scrap for
I
us?
do. I
Oh,
have
yes.
two actually. I've been thinking about it all month.
I
Bonus.
love it.
Bonus scrap.
Okay, well, this one is a holiday themed baking scrap because holiday is coming up. We're going to be doing a lot of decorating of cookies. Scrap number one is when you're coloring your icing, your royal icing, is to do it in a muffin tin. Each tin is a different color, and then you have one dish to clean afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great tip.
It's the best. How many bowls do you have? Doesn't matter. I have one muffin tin.
I love it.
Nice.
Great.
Perfect.
That is fabulous.
Thank you so much. And my second baking scrap is to temper chocolate using a sous vide, and it will never go wrong.
Never?
So
Never.
yeah.
Because you
So
can control what temperature to the degree
yeah.
it goes to, and then you bring it back down, and then you bring it back up, and it'll just stay there for as long as you need it to.
Yes.
Oh.
And
They
then
wouldn't let me have a sous vide in the tent. I asked.
they
Oh.
wouldn't let you have one?
Mm-mm.
Why not?
I don't know, nesty guys. I don't know. I'm assuming it's like a brand deal or something, or they're too expensive, or
Huh.
would be
They're
unfair.
not
I don't
that
know.
expensive. But because I bought one for my son for Christmas one year, they're not
Mm,
that crazy expensive. But
I
I
also have
often
one.
wondered about that because
Mhm.
I've seen that technique before. And then my only worry is because there's water and water and chocolate,
Oh, hmm.
they don't like each other very much.
No, I just
So
double bag it and then it's good forever.
Smart.
And then you
Yeah.
don't cut the hole in the piping bag, and then you can just like roll up the other side and then put it in a different bag.
so actually melt your chocolate in the sous vide in your piping bag already.
Mhm. I
And
I
then
can't
put
tell
it
you
in
how much I
another.
hate doing dishes.
Sounds like you've even found a way around it.
I love it. I think I might need to invest in one now. Yeah.
Mhm. Or just
I've
like go to
never
his
used.
house, steal his. You don't use them all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
You only
practice.
do.
I'll ask him to borrow. I can, oh, hey, bud,
You're welcome.
can I
Just for
borrow,
you.
can I borrow your sous vide for a bit? Never give it back. I think that is
Mm.
absolutely brilliant. I really need to
That
try.
is a tidbit from Claire Saffitz, who also hates tempering chocolate.
And who has a
Mm.
very good French buttercream recipe.
Yes,
So does it
she is
take
the
does it take a long time to go up and down in temperatures?
It doesn't take that long to go up, but then you need to have some ice on hand to cool it down,
Cool it down. Yeah.
and then it goes back up really easily.
Okay.
So I'd say like maybe 10 minutes, but it's 10 minutes where you can just walk away.
Yeah, right. Because you don't have to do all the stir. You don't have to stir. It's just all,
Mhm.
and it's already in your piping bag. So there's no fuss, no mess.
It sets up pretty quick, but then you can just throw it back in the sous vide for like
Yeah.
28, 29 degrees and it just
Yeah.
stays there.
Well, because what I hate about
Amazing.
like making bonbons
Hmm.
specifically, right? Because you do your shells and then your chocolate just sits there. So then you have to like retemper it all again. And you're like,
You're like, my brother in Christ, do you know how long that took me to do the first time?
right, exactly.
And if the bottoms aren't crispy, then it all falls out, which is the whole point.
Yeah. She's really gotten into bonbons lately, so I think
My
you
mom went through a bonbon phase too.
Yeah.
I'm too scared, so you tell me how it goes.
yeah. Yeah, it's expensive. It's a very expensive hobby.
It's really expensive right now, like
Ask Stephen
stupidly
'Levitt.
expensive. Chocolate's nasty. Butter.
Christmas is, I love when Christmas comes up and people are like, what do I get you? And you're like, listen, butter, just butter, butter and chocolate. Don't give me chips. I want blocks. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
to my TED Talk.
Or Colettes are awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Colette's when I went to Bake Off, that was the first time I used Colette's. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like on TV.
Yeah, because you don't have to chip the
It's
chocolate.
perfect. It's perfect.
It is perfect. Yes.
Do you know what I will think if I ever get to the tent? When I
When
see
you get to the tent.
when I get to the tent, when I see 4 sticks of butter in a box, because that is so foreign to me, but that is like what I see on TV.
Oh,
And
it's
I'll
so annoying. You have so many butters to unfold, and you're like, listen, I did this at home. I do it once, and I do a bad job of it. I can't do that 4 times.
I can't
It
do a
hurts my
bad job
feelings.
for
Yeah.
it.
So they only do the 4 stick butter things?
Always. Well, now that Gay Lee is their sponsor now, so
Yeah.
it's always the 4 sticks.
Oh, because
That's
they do
weird.
have Gay Lee with just the full block.
The Gailey we
That's
get
how I
here
buy
is
it.
block.
We
And we
can
get
get
it at
that.
Walmart. Walmart's the only place I
Walmart.
could find
Oh,
Gailey butter.
Oh, Thrifties.
that's wild.
And I was
Thrifties.
like,
All
I
of my
thought
grocery
this was
stores
a
have Gay Lee.
higher end butter. What's it doing at Walmart? And why is it so cheap? But I'm going to buy a lot of it.
I'm
goes
gonna
on
say
sale
I'm
for
not gonna say anything until later. And
Yes.
by later, I mean after I've already used it and we can't take it back.
Take it
Hope
back.
that's okay.
Butter goes so like Chris asked me the other day what I needed. He was out with our friend and I was like, "Oh, I'm out of butter." And so he brought home like 9 pounds of butter and it was all stacked up
Oh,
on the count. I know he's so great. He'll buy me like these big huge things of flour or sugar or whatever.
romance.
I know, right?
right?
He loves me very much. And my girlfriend who was over was like, "Oh, look, you've got enough butter for your Christmas baking." And I just started laughing because I was like, "You think that's gonna last until my Christmas baking starts?"
It's so funny. I immediately pictured, do you remember in like The Little Mermaid when Ursula is like cackling and then she goes, "You fool!"
Yeah.
That's what I pictured. Verbatim how it went for you.
It's pretty much how it went. Poor unfortunate
Oh,
soul. You don't
yeah.
know what you're talking
No
about.
idea. Yeah.
Oh, you beautiful dummy. No.
Yeah, no,
They don't know what
eggs
they
so
don't
fast.
know.
Don't know what
They
they don't
don't know what they don't know. You
You're like,
can't.
what a beautiful idea. What a kind thought of you to have.
Yes.
Absolutely not. But that's I love the idea of your brain.
I just wish I had like a butter spitter machine that would be just like
Mm.
butter, please, and it would just like a thing of butter
At
and,
the
and I'm
right
like,
temperature that you need it at.
That's what I was
exactly.
gonna say. Immediately room temperature.
Yes, because I mean, Stephen Levitt has his butter freezer,
Yeah.
which is
Hmm.
just literally filled with butter. But I think it would make me anxious because I tend to keep mine always on the counter because it
Hmm.
gets used immediately, right? So I'd be like, I have to wait for that to come to room temperature. And I don't
It's
like
the
Just
using
worst.
the night
chips and
As
before.
somebody who just like stores it in the fridge and just stares at it and goes, okay, one day I'm gonna be really irritated that I'm gonna need you and you're gonna be
yeah.
really cold, but I can't put you on the counter yet because I don't know if today's that day.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like you're gonna be my rough puff butter.
Yeah. Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially. All right. Well, this has been so
Aw,
much fun.
so cool to
Oh, for
have
me
you on with us.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for having me. What a delight.
Oh, it's
The
been amazing.
delight was all ours.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Definitely.
So cool.
Definitely. And like I said, pissed off that you're not in the
Yeah.
finale, but also
Oh,
very
those three
happy.
are so top notch. They're next level. This thing is a marathon and they have the better cardio. By all means, and
Uh,
go.
but you know what? You were just hitting your stride beautifully, and we were really like, Erica's gonna make it into the
Oh, yeah.
finale.
That's one of the things I feel really lucky for because I think like for a lot of the bakers, they kind of got had to leave before their time really came for them to get
Mm,
comfortable or feel
yeah.
seen or etc. And I feel so lucky and so special that I like had the downwards trajectory and then I got to build myself up. Oh, that I can't ask for more. That's my finale. That's my cake plate. The
Yeah.
friends I made along the way, and it's also having my redemption.
You did great. You
And
did great.
Thank
that's
you.
so cool that you've got this beautiful family out of this whole experience. And not
I
only that,
really.
but extended family as well from other bakers
Hmm.
in other seasons. And
Everyone is so supportive and so kind and check in all the time. And oh wow, it's unreal. It's really beautiful because they like set up. It's like because of the show, they like have this community, but
Mhm.
it's just like the build, and then it's up to each of us to like actually create the feeling of a community, and they really
Yeah.
do that. And it's that's so nice and special.
yeah.
Jeez,
Well,
It is.
and it's an elite club, right? There've been
I
80
guess
of
so.
you.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's wild.
One of 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the semifinalist club is even smaller.
Yes.
That's right.
Do you have a
There's only eight of
special
us.
do you have a special club for the semifinalists?
There is one in the works. Everyone of this, like in the semifinalists, they have like reached out. They've been like, "Hey, that sucks, but welcome to the Losers Club." And I go, "Oh, this is my favorite club.
Not,
Thank you so much."
not at all. I know that's probably like it's like the fourth place at the Olympics, right?
Yeah,
You're just off
Mm.
the podium. And
yeah.
it's still such a great accomplishment, but you're just
Hmm.
like so close. And yeah,
Yeah. I sometimes get in my head that, like, especially watching it back, I go, "Oh, if only I just, oh, if I just." But then I like put myself back in that moment and been like, I was really tired, and I had literally no juice left, and I felt so good getting to go home that is just the edit makes me like, was it lonely for a future that was not real, and this one is okay. The way it real was good for
It's
me, and
okay.
I'm really happy with how it went.
well, you should be really happy and proud of everything that you did in that tent. And seriously, you were such an incredible joy to watch
Thank
the
you so
whole
much.
season, all season long. And we can't wait to see you at the finale.
Oh,
As
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that should be so much fun. It'll be nice to see all of you all back together again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. I'm so excited because like half of it I don't even know how what happened.
Yeah.
I only saw the very last part. I'm excited to fill in my blanks as well.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
exactly.
And you never know how they're going to edit everything too.
Totally.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
So many
Well,
unknowns. How fun.
We had a little bit of a prediction yesterday, and I predicted Alora, and Vincent predicted Jen, and Steven predicted Pamela. And then
Hmm.
Christina was like, "Oh no, I'm the tiebreaker," but one of us is right. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really fun to see.
I predicted there was going to
Yeah.
be a three-way tie, and they're going
Yes.
to give out
Perfect.
3 cake plates.
Somebody texted me the other day and he's like, I wish we could just break up the cake plate and give each other the pieces. And I was like, ooh, mean girl style. I like that.
Aw.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. And I guess that does become part of it, right? Because
Mhm.
you form all these incredibly strong bonds and
Yeah.
you're all in it together
Yeah.
Hmm.
at the end. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
It'll
thanks
be
again
fun.
for being here with us. And we
Thank you
look
so
forward
much for
to
having
talking
me.
again.
yeah. And
Yeah.
let's do this again one day soon. Maybe we could
For
get like
sure.
there's been so many amazing bakers out of Alberta.
Oh, I
Calgary,
know.
Edmonton, just an incredible crop of crop in Alberta.
Strong
See what I did
bakers. It's
there? See what
crazy.
I did there?
Hmm.
Anyhow, I digress. But I think it would be so much fun to have like a number of Alberta bakers join us for
Yeah.
a podcast one day.
Yeah, that
Oh,
can be
that
one
would
of
be
our
fun.
themes. Yeah, it would. We'll just,
Stampede baking scraps.
I like that idea
There
too.
you go.
Oh, yes, definitely we'll have to do that. All right. Well, thanks again. We'll talk again really soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
Have an
so much, you
awesome day.
guys.
See you
Thank you. You
later.
too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Well, Erica was every bit a bright light that I thought they would be. And
You knew she would be. You knew she would be. She
I
was like,
know,
you know, just such a beautiful breath of fresh air and happiness and joy.
I
And
know.
yeah,
I was a little bit starstruck. Did I act really silly?
no, not at all.
No? Okay.
Why are you looking so like,
Because I was like, well, because like I've been fascinated with Erica since the beginning, right? So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm actually talking to Erica. And then I was like, okay, don't say dumb things or do say dumb things because Erica might appreciate dumb things. And then you say dumb things and then you go, oh, I shouldn't have said that dumb thing.
yeah, okay. I think you were totally fine. I
I'm
think,
spiraling.
no, don't spiral. Don't spiral.
I'm
No,
just kidding. It's all
no.
good. I
It
really,
was
really enjoyed that.
yeah, she's just like I said, such I don't think you can have a bad conversation with Erica. I think she's just one of those people who really understands the power of living life with joy.
Hmm.
And that is so evident in everything we saw in the tent with her and everything we heard and saw
Yeah,
today with our
outside.
conversation with her.
Yeah.
So it was just such a special one. And I'm so glad that we were able to make our conversation work and hope everybody enjoys it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed it and I'm really glad we had that opportunity. So, all right, off we go.
Off we go.
We've
One
got
more.
only one more week of this beautiful show.
I
And
know. And then our recap, our well, actually, we've got our final recap next week. And then we also will be speaking with all 3 of the finalists, hopefully.
yes. Yeah,
Uh,
hopefully that works out timing wise.
hopefully it works well for everybody from um, a time perspective.
Yeah.
But it'll be so awesome to speak with the last 3 standing
Yeah.
after their day in the tent.
Yes.
Can't wait. They're
Can't
so
wait
all of
either.
them so talented the whole
I know.
entire season. It's
So
been
it's
so much
so
fun.
wonderful. Yeah. Thanks for being here with me.
Thank you for being with me
And thank you everybody for watching and listening.
and happy baking, everyone.
Happy
Take care.
baking.